Hello. I think I did that properly today. I was just saying before we came on screen that I'm trying this new intro. I think I did it wrong earlier in the week. So now hopefully we are live. The intro worked. And I'm joined by two lovely people who have not been on screen with me together. And Vix hasn't been on screen at all. Hooray. So this is Vix's first live stream. You two are both muted. So I don't know if you want to unmute yourselves. I think me putting the intro on muted you both. So thank you both so much for joining me. Welcome, Vix, for your first one. That is exciting.
Thank you for having me.
It's a weird feeling. My first one was with Spoopy Hall, who needed people to do her, like she used to do this readathon, and she needed people to do some live streams, and I went on and I was really scared, and then I got completely hooked, and now I do it twice a week. So hopefully we'll pull you in and you'll want to do your own as well. So we've got quite a few people watching us already and comments popping up, but let's have a chat about what the three of us are planning to do first, and then we will jump to the comments. So do you want to start us off, Lauren? You are on your summer vacation right now, so hopefully lots of reading already happening where you are, but what are you planning to read tonight?
Yes, I'm kind of doing like a little bit of a pivot for me, because I've been kind of enjoying my little shark week, so lots of shark content. But I've been like really, like weirdly for me, because I'm not like a big romance gal, but for some reason I really find that I like supernatural witchy romances. So I'm in the middle of one in audiobook. So I'm going to be like kind of cleaning and doing some chores while I listen. I've already started it and I love it. It's called A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon. So
that sounds fun.
Yeah. I was like a cute little cover. I think it's adorable.
Oh yeah, very cute.
Yeah, so that's what I'm up to.
Nice. How about you, Vix? What are you planning to read tonight?
I am going to be reading The Vile Thing We Created. I've got 100 pages left of that, so I'm quite into that. It's kind of the Rosemary's Baby kind of book.
Oh.
New, so.
Who's that by?
Robert Ottone, I think.
Oh, I've never heard of them or that book. It sounds interesting. I don't know much about Rosemary's Baby.
What's the title again?
The Vile Thing We Created.
Ooh,
that really goes there, that title, doesn't it? That's like, nothing held back.
That is amazing. It's gorgeous.
Yes. Okay. Now when I see the cover, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I think M from Dark, like Ink Drinkers, Dark Violet. Yeah.
Dark Violet.
Has been talking. Yes. She's been talking about it recently and loved it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. It was her that showed it to me, sort of thing. So as soon as she said, "What, you know, it's a Rosemary's Baby thing," I was like, yes.
Say no more.
I'm there.
Amazing. That sounds really good. I am editing something that I keep saying I'm going to finish and send to my agent, and I still haven't finished and sent to my agent. So the panic is slightly setting in because I need to move on to another project pretty quickly. So this is something that she wants to read, isn't under contract yet, but it is just like something I'm working on that I'm quite excited about. It's another YA thing. So I really, really need to finish editing it. I've got about 30 pages left to edit. So if I can make a good dent in that tonight, I'll be very happy. And then hopefully tomorrow I'm going to London on Saturday for an event. So I'm hoping if I can get it done before then, I can start my new thing on the way to London on the train. So I have a plan. Let's just see if I can actually stick to it. This is what it's like, because I feel like I go from one project and then because I leave so little time in between, there's no room for error. I've just got to plunge into the next one. At some point, I keep saying at some point it'll slow down, but it hasn't yet. Oh, Kev, can you go and get Taste of Darkness from the shelf for me? The horror anthology that I've co-curated with my friend. We've just got the finished copy of that as well, which is really cool. So I got to hold one of my book babies for the first time this week, which is always really weird to see it in like actually finished book form, and then other people are starting to receive it as well, which is terrifying because they're going to read it.
Is it YA?
Yeah, it's YA. So it is a compilation of UK YA authors, some of whom are already horror authors. I don't know how well you can do the cover.
That's a good cover.
Silver foil, and it's a bit shiny on the side, and then it's got this little like acrostic at the back. And it's got me, Maria Kuznia, Kat Dunn, Kat Ellis, Rachel Faccirotti, Catherine Foxfield, Dawn Kurtagich, Amy McCulloch, Cynthia Murphy, Lynn Salisbury, Louis Stoll, Rosie Talbot, and Mary Watson. So some already known for writing horror. Louis is really well known for writing like funny children's middle grade books, so she's gone kind of into paranormal for us for this one. So yeah, it's very exciting and nerve-wracking and the rest of it. But yeah, so I've had a bit of an exciting week with that. So let's jump to the comments and see what people are reading, and then in a few minutes we can go to our first sprint. Hi Stephen. Hi Charlie. Hi Paula. There's lots of familiar faces in here. Hola. Raymond's pulling out the Spanish. I think that said it right. Hooray! It all worked smoothly. I think it was probably human error as opposed to the tech letting me down. I think it was me letting the tech down. Hi Ellie. Thank you for welcoming our lovely guest tonight, Raymond. Hello. Hi Sharon. I feel like Sharon and Vix, I don't know whether you know each other, but I feel like you may need instructions because Sharon reads absolutely terrifying things and tells me if they're too scary for me. So I feel like you might be able to give each other some good recommendations. Chain of Gold, nice. Oh yes, have you got the cover handy? Is it physical? Oh, ebook. So unless I was thinking that I don't think I can do any computer witchery with this. I'm not good enough to find out. Oh, what do you have on your t-shirt, Vix? I think I missed that.
Oh, it's a silly
Oh,
away from our problems.
I like it.
Which is what I'm really good at, running away from my problems.
Another Midlands wench.
Yeah.
So do you already know each other? Am I introducing
No.
you people? Oh, I feel like there could be a friendship in the making here. I like that. Thank you. I'm very happy with it. Kev, everybody needs a Kev. I think that I'm very lucky that I got one. Yes, thank you, Sharon. I am very impressed. I didn't know if they were going to do foiling because they talked about whether they would. There's foil here, and then somebody text Abby might be able to tell me there's like raised lettering on the back where it's like raised and a bit shiny. I feel like there's a name for that, but I don't know what it is. So I'm very happy that they pulled out all the stops for that. Ooh, is that the middle grade or is that an adult book?
Is that Phil Hicks? Phil Hicks?
Yeah, I think so. I think that if it's the one I'm thinking of, I have it on my TBR pile, but I've not read it. Oh, thanks, Raymond. Yes, hopefully. End of tonight, we can get some horror recommendations flowing in channel. Embossed, I think that's the word. Thank you.
Fancy.
Yeah, no, I've got an embossed book now. Foil was on my list of things I wanted to have on a book, so it's nice that I've already ticked off one of my bucket list things. So I think we'll go to a sprint then. So let us know in the comments what you are reading. If you want recommendations, I feel like we've got a nice range of interests in people on screen and then people in the chat. You've got the likes of Sharon who reads lots of horror, Charlie from Prairie Way on YouTube, and she has the lovely paper orange book boxes. If you want some fantasy recs, Charlie will sort you out. So if you don't know what to read, there's plenty of people here who can help. Oh, not the book I'm thinking of. Are we thinking of The Haunting of Somebody Jones? Is that Aveline Jones or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So very similar name. Don't get the wrong book. If you're trying to find a cute middle grade spooky book, buy the one we said. If you want a terrifying stalker one, buy Haunting of Adeline. That's so weird that they ended up with nearly the same title. Hello, thank you for joining us. Right, I'm going to mark where we're up to in the comments. So we will do a 40-minute sprint, have a chat 40 minutes, and end on a 30-minute one. If either of you two need to go before that, that's absolutely fine. Feel free to do whatever you need to do, turn the camera off or whatever. It's very relaxed. And we will go to the first sprint and we'll see you all in 40 minutes.
Awesome. Happy reading and
Bye.
editing.
Yes, thank you. Hello. That's the end of the first sprint. I hope you all had a good session. Let us know in the comments if you got up to anything interesting. How about the two of you? Did you have a good reading session, Vix?
Yeah, it's got to some really good gory parts.
Excellent. I'm quite intrigued by that book. Is it quite extreme, or does it feel? I feel like I'm a moderate horror reader. Would it be too much?
No, it's not. It's really slow burn, and then suddenly it's got to the good stuff. But there's a lot of sexy time in this book, which is uncomfortable to read.
Okay, I don't mind that. Have either of you read episode 13?
Yeah.
The found footage thing. What did you think of it? Because I'm about maybe 20% into the audiobook, and I'm like, I'm really enjoying it, but also thinking like not a lot's happened yet. It's kind of all atmosphere and not a lot of plot so far.
Yeah, there's a lot of this. Yeah, it comes kind of like towards the maybe like last 20% of the book, I would say. I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed it, but I'm not a big like, I don't even know, I'll say limited on what I'm saying, but like there's a specific subgenre of horror at the very end that it's like hit or miss for me, and it wasn't necessarily like my favorite thing. So yeah, but I enjoyed like the found footage aspect because it's not something I'm super familiar with. So I like that epistolary format. I like haunted houses. I like the vibes, but you're so right. That was the same thing in my head. I was thinking like, we're just kind of like, you know, getting certain things, or just like their kind of internal group dynamic is the central focus.
Because I don't read a ton of adult horror, and I was quite surprised. I expected to have got to like more of the meat of the horror by this point. And what did you think of it, Vix?
I loved it, but I do wish that I'd listened to it more than read it, because I think it would have worked so good as an audio.
Yeah.
And everybody raves about the audio book as well. And I kind of think, I wish I'd listened to it rather than read it. But I was just keen, because I had it as an arc. I just needed to get it read, and I do wish it was on audio.
Maybe once you leave it a little bit of time, you might be able to come back to it and get the audio. Because it is one of those full cast ones that definitely brings it to life. Yeah, it's interesting because I've got some adult horror lined up. Like I've got Looking Glass Sound. Is it Katrina? I can never say that. Katrina.
Oh yeah.
New book on my TBR for next month, and of Silver Nitrate, which I think is also adult horror. And I'm like, oh, I'm actually dipping my toes in cautiously to the adult horror. Yeah, how about you, Lauren? Did you have a good reading sprint?
Yes, I got through 6% of my audiobook as I was like doing dishes and kind of organizing things. I went Halloween decor shopping earlier, so I was trying to like kind of organize all of that. And I got like one of my items. I'll get it in the next sprint because he's like in the other room. But this like giant Stay Puffed stand up little plush, and I saw it online. And I was just not in a positive mindset of like, I'm going to find things, because this is like the 3rd store I went to today. And I just saw them from across the store. And I was like, my heart stopped. And I ran over and I'm like, meet your new mom. I'm so excited.
That's very cool.
I was like organizing my stuff too while I was listening.
Yeah, I mean, the UK, we've started like getting the Halloween stuff, and it's interesting. Like, I tend to like the things that veer on the creepy side that look like realistic. So I bought a candle holder that basically looks like human bones. It's got different bones like made up, and I like stuff like that. And like a haunted house in a snow globe, when you shake it, it looks like bats rather than snow is around it. Whereas, you know, like the cheesy side of Halloween, like the really bright orange and purple, like a witch with stripy socks and stuff like that, isn't my kind of Halloween vibe. And there's a lot of that this year. So I'm like going through that and trying to find the actual creepy stuff. So I think if you like the kind of cute, slightly cheesy side, in the shops near me anyway, there's more of that. But yeah, I'm glad it comes in July. It feels like you can kind of start shopping early and get the things you really want.
I know, it's fun. It's fun. But I'm trying to like keep a budget.
Yeah, I tend to go a little wild. And the Disney store in the UK tend to like release it all on one date. So I always keep an eye on that. I think it's usually in August. And I always have to put in a big order because Disney plus Halloween is like my sweet spot of favorite things. And they do. Yeah, they have some really cool, like The Nightmare Before Christmas and Haunted Mansion stuff is really nice.
I'm so excited. Yeah, apparently Michael's is going to be releasing a do you have the Michael's craft store in the UK?
No, sadly not.
Oh, okay.
Christ.
Well, they say online they're going to be releasing like a Haunted Mansion line or something, but they mentioned it in like early July, and there's like been nothing else on their website or their Instagram accounts or in store. So I'm like, what's happening? Because if it's not at the Disney store, it's maybe like at the Hallmark store. So I'd want to have more Haunted Mansion options.
Yeah, I've never seen Haunted Mansion stuff. I mean, in the UK, you can literally get it. We don't have any in-person Disney shops apart from in London, I think, now. So you can get the stuff online, and you can get it, obviously, at the Disney parks. Like, we went to Disneyland Paris earlier this year, and I just went straight to Haunted Mansion, but, like, what can I buy? What did I buy this year? Oh, a gargoyle, a huge. Every year I buy something ridiculous, and I'm like, I've got to get it in my case and take it home on the train. This year it was a massive gargoyle with light up candles, and last year it was the clock that's got eyes on it and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah. So I'm with you on the buying Halloween stuff. Are you a Halloween shopper, Vic? 'Cause I feel like you might be.
I used to be, and I think that now I've just got too much Halloween stuff that I can't possibly buy anymore. I just can't.
I feel like maybe you could be discerning and like each year look and like choose. I do that with Christmas now. I've got way too much Christmas stuff, and I add like a thing or two a year now rather than going completely wild. But Halloween so far, I haven't found a limit. I just find new places to put it. It's working. It's just creeps into the house. Like my living room looks a bit spooky now, and my like office room that I work in is a bit spooky. I'm trying to pass it on to my son so he can become spooky too, and then we can make his room spooky. Yeah, slowly it's spreading through the house. Even my husband is becoming like, I'd say you're spookier now than when I met you. Kev's nodding in agreement. So let's see what the people in the comments are saying before I ramble anymore. Oh, I haven't read any Adam Neville books yet. How about you two?
I've read the one where they go for a hike in the forest.
Oh, okay. Is it terrifying? I feel like I've heard his
No, it's not.
Is it not? Is it quite gentle?
Yeah. What's it called?
I've heard some stuff about the vessel, and I feel like being a novella, it might be a good place to kind of dip my toes into a little bit of horror there. No problems. You can join us at any time. It's nice when people's friends jump into the chat. Hooray! Well done. I don't really know how much I did because I wrote a few words and did some editing and realised that I'd got a continuity error that I had to fix. So I did a few things that I'm quite pleased with, but I've still got like late 20s pages to go, so I've chipped away a little, but not lots. Everybody saying hi to each other in the chat, which is nice. Hi. Oh, I want to saying hi to you, Ellie. I'm sorry, I'm completely losing it already, and we're only an hour in. Well done. 39 pages is great. 71%. Ooh, interesting. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember every time Paula said she was reading spoiler alert, I was like waiting for spoiler, and then I was like, no, that's the book title. So I got very confused. Excellent. Sharon's such a fast reader. Yeah, it is so good when you find there are a few like that, like the Dracula audiobook I absolutely love. I've listened to that a few times, which has got a full cast. And Sadie by Courtney Summers, which is like a YA, really dark kind of thriller mystery. That's got an amazing full cast, and that's got like a podcast element too. So you kind of listen to bits of the podcast. So I think that certain things it's just really like better to read. Yeah, I mean, I haven't bought enough to do a proper Halloween haul. I feel like we need to see a mini haul at least of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Maybe I'll go and get my copy at some point too. That'll just make me feel very happy.
I think I'd also just love your like, I don't know if you've done ever like a tour of like your office and like your bookshelves or something. So I feel like you have like really cool stuff, and then I always see them like in your reels and all that. So or your shorts. So that'd be cool to see like just a tour. Yeah,
thank you. I feel like at uni I got a loan and then was studying, so I didn't have a huge social life. Like I did law, so I was really busy. So I just bought stuff. Like I didn't, eBay. Yeah, I discovered eBay, and I just bought loads of creepy things, and it's just carried on since then. Like, yeah, maybe I should. I think there's probably enough for hours worth of material to show you, like, one at a time, the weird things that I own. So, yeah, at some point, people keep asking me to do shelf, like, tours as well, but they don't realise that my floor is a disaster. The shelves look nice from, like, knees up, but I can barely get into the room because it's piled up with books and other paraphernalia at the moment. So when I get the room tidy, I swear I will show some of the weird stuff that I've got. Yeah, I think it really depends. Because who is it that you were saying that reads Harry Potter? I've just completely blanked.
Stephen Fry.
Yeah, that's the one. Stephen Fry. Thank you. Yeah, I think there are certain people like James Masters does the Dresden Files, who's Spike from Buffy, and he did some of the Cassandra Clare ones. And I think if he reads an audiobook, I will just listen to it. I don't care what the book's about because his voice is amazing and he's really good at the characters. So yeah, I think unless it's somebody really great, I do prefer the full cast ones now. Hi, Alicia. Yes, I mean, it is your time, Charlie. I feel like, I don't know if you two have seen Charlie, but if you can see from the little picture, she's got orange hair, orange house. Her box is called Paper Orange. She often wears orange clothes. She's like pure sunshine. You see me on screen and I'm just all black. And then Charlie comes on and she looks like the sun and the summer. I mean, it depends though. I don't feel like orange is cheesy. Like, imagine a spooky pumpkin that looks like it's going to eat your face versus like an orange and purple one with a happy little face and like a mop hat on. Like, that's the Halloween difference to me. Like, I want the ones that look like they're going to eat your face. Sorry about that. Anybody who doesn't. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm like. When people say they're decorating for Halloween, I'm like, that's just how I already live. I'm looking around actually, and to be fair, it just looks like a toddler's decorate this room because there's little bits of Lego and Chippendale figurines and stuff like that. So yeah, mixture of spooky and child in our house. Yeah, I just, it's a hobby, isn't it, as much as anything. I agree. I mean, it depends on I'm thinking cheesy Halloween merch versus your beautiful version of orange, Charlie. Yeah, agreed, Paula, definitely. No, there is no more Disney store at Meadowhall. So Meadowhall is in Sheffield, and it's this shopping centre that my highlight was going to Disney. And I think there's definitely one in London, and at one point they said they were keeping one other location open, but sadly,
Is the one in Birmingham not still around then?
I don't know. That might be. I think they were keeping London and then like one or two others. So possibly, but yeah, the York one's shut, the Sheffield one's shut. Very sad. And I don't really know why. I think it's just because of the online shopping. I think that's a good choice, Leslie. That's how I always use these sprints. I'd love to know what you're working on as well. I know, it's awful, Charlie. It's so sad. Like, it's such a pick-me-up going into Disney. Yeah, same. Hello. The Ritual is the hiking one. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
I think I might have that, actually. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure the London one is still there. If it's not, I'm very sad. But yeah, the York one is gone. Yeah, been to Joe's? I don't know. I don't know what Joe's is.
I think maybe it's Joanne's.
Oh, okay. Is that a US store?
I know it's here, yeah. And I don't know anywhere else. I have gone, but in California, or I don't know if it's like a West Coast thing or just my area, the rest of California is fine, but it takes a really long time for things to come out. So I'm like really delayed. So I'll see people posting stuff and they probably live on the East Coast of the United States or like the Midwest. Then I have nothing when I go to my stores. And I think it's because like the shipping centers are further away from the West Coast. Makes sense. Probably more expensive or something. But I haven't gone in recently. And I know they have been kind of pushing stuff out in like waves. So I got to go back in soon.
Yes. And I mean, you get all the sunshine, so maybe there's like pros and cons, isn't there, of being on that coast?
Yes, definitely.
Oh, Joan. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of like-minded people in the chat today. I think there are lots of... Yes, that's exactly what I mean. I want terrifying Halloween. Terrifying, some cute too, like the Disney cute. Merry Hill, is that the other Disney store? Yeah, I need to investigate this because it's whenever we go to London, I try and visit if I can. But yeah, otherwise, I just go to Disney Paris or hopefully next year Florida because that one's just awesome. Do you go much to the California one, Lauren?
I don't go often, but it's when I think of family vacations, I think of going to Disneyland. So I've gone a lot. I went maybe 2 summers ago, and I'm going for the first time during fall this October. So I'm really excited. I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, the Haunted Mansion ride. Is that the one where they do it as Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yes. So I'm excited to experience that for the very first time.
That's really cool. The Paris one is amazing at Halloween. Like the merch is great and the decorations are brilliant, but they don't do that to the Haunted Mansion ride. So yeah, I think that Halloween.
Oh,
In
interesting.
is
I didn't know
I
that.
don't know if that's the only one where they do it, but yeah, they definitely don't in the Paris one. So yeah, I've been to the California one. I enjoyed it, but I'm hopefully going to take my little boy to as many of them as I can. So maybe we'll try and time it and do each one at Halloween, so I can get the creepy experience. He can get the Disney experience.
Balance.
Okay, so I think it's time to do another sprint. Are you two both carrying on the same plan that are you reading the same book, Vix? Yeah, I'm going to keep editing and see if I can make it done. I feel like sometimes I fly through it. Today because I'm having to fix things, it's quite slow. So people in the chat, let me know what you're working on, see if we can keep each other motivated. It's nice to see lots of Halloween chat tonight, so if you've got any cool stuff, let us know. I generally do try and save up a little bit before I go to Disney, because I do always buy something ridiculous like an enormous Haunted Mansion gargoyle. In fact, I will go and I'll get him. You get your Michelin Man. Stay Puft Marshmallow.
Stay Puft, yeah.
Stay Puft Marshmallow. Yeah, got it. The reason I get confused is I don't know whether do you have the Michelin Man? Like,
yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like,
yeah,
I've always been so confused that he looks like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I just don't.
It's funny you mention it, because the woman who was checking me out at the store, she called him that, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah, you've got a kindred spirit when you look at the Michelin Man and you go to Ghostbusters. Like, I think you know that people understand you when you can find somebody like that. Okay, let's do another sprint and then we will have another chat and see if we can have another productive 40 minutes. So see you on the other side. Sorry, Boy Meets World just came on loudly in my living room. We've been watching TV, like I'm editing in the background. But I have a bit of 90s stuff to watch. How did you two get on in the sprint? How about you, Vix?
I finished my book.
Excellent. How was it?
Yay!
It was okay.
Not a favourite.
It was okay. 3.5 stars. I'm going to give that.
Okay. Would you recommend it, or was it just kind of not?
It's good, creepy kid vibes, and there's some, The Omen kind of thing. If you like that kind of thing, I suppose.
Yeah, but not.
I was expecting more.
Yeah. Okay. Not the greatest then, but not terrible. So have you got plans to read something else in the last sprint?
Yeah, I'm getting through the Castle of Otranto.
Ah, how is that? Because that's been on my list for a long time.
It's okay. I'm doing my TBR for this month was an old versus new. So it was all the original horror things and versus 2023 releases. So it's like, I've read The Monk. That was absolutely brilliant. And
do you know what? I've heard that, and I've heard it enough times that I bought it, but I still haven't read it yet. I went to is it Horace Walpole who wrote The Castle of Otranto?
Yeah.
I went to his home, which is in one of the suburbs of London, I think. Is it Strawberry Hills? Kev's saying, and that's really.
Is it his weird castle that he?
Yeah,
built?
it's like white Disneyland looking but gothic kind of mansion on the outskirts of London. It's really cool. It's got nice like design touches inside, and that's when I bought the copy of the book there. But I, like years later, still haven't read it. It's quite short, I think, isn't it?
What, the Otranto?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's short. It is short, but it is I've read it before, but I don't know. Otranto is weird, but The Monk is brilliant. If you read The Monk.
Yeah, I want to. I'm trying to read more classic fiction because I've had a few years of not reading that much of it, and I like particularly the kind of gothic ones. I really love. I end up just rereading Dracula, and I need to branch out a little bit more. Yeah, I read Rebecca earlier this year and really enjoyed that.
I read Rebecca for February. Was it February or somebody did a readathon?
Oh, okay.
Gothic Hearts readathon, and I read Rebecca for that. So
did you enjoy it?
It's not that bad, is it? I mean, it's a chunky boy, but yeah, it's quite good.
Yeah, some of the twists and turns caught me off guard. Sorry, what were you saying, Lauren?
Oh, I read it too in February. That's funny.
Oh, but you didn't realize that there was a readathon going on.
I think I did know about that. But it's like romancy. So I was kind of like, my theme for my content that month was like kind of dark romance, and that like perfectly fits the bill.
Oh yeah, it does.
Toxic, so toxic.
Yes, I don't know. I was really surprised. I didn't know what to expect from it, and it kind of caught me off guard on everything. I really liked the mystery side of it, and I wasn't sure if for some reason, I think I thought it was a ghost story, so I kept waiting for the ghost that didn't arrive. Yeah, I still enjoyed it anyway. So before you show us your little friend, how did your sprint go, Lauren?
I know, I just grabbed him. It went really well. I came back from a trip last week or earlier this week, and I haven't like unpacked anything. So I was listening to my audiobook and got some like stuff done. That's like, I don't know, people complain a lot about packing, like getting all your stuff together. But for me, it's like the unpacking that's like the annoying part and tedious.
Yeah.
But I did get into from 16% to 25% in my little romance witchy book. And I really like it. I'm not a big romance person, so I'm surprised. So maybe this is my romance era. I'm enjoying it.
There is another book in that. There's a brand new one, isn't there?
Is it? Have you read this?
Guide to something. I'm sure there is.
Just guide to have you read this one though?
No.
Okay. No, I haven't. It sounds interesting. I don't rule out any genre generally because I just kind of read what I feel like reading, and like fantasy is the one that's taken me off guard this year because I keep reading the odd fantasy book and then going, I like fantasy again. Like I started off YA reading when I got into YA in my early 20s, read a lot of fantasy, like went out of it again for a bit, and I seem to be like moving back into a slightly fancy era. But I think it needs to have something a bit dark, or like a really good romance, or a darker or horror element, I think, as well. I think fantasy on its own I still find a bit hard to digest.
You are right. There is a book I found, A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch. So
Oh.
maybe it's like an opposite version,
Yeah.
or somebody, or maybe it's a different person, but I only see it available. Oh, actually, it's on pre-order. Okay, so it hasn't even come out yet. You are right, Vix.
I'm sure I've seen, because I recognise the drawing on the front, that I knew there was a new one. I'd seen it on NetGalley.
Okay, so this is what I love. Okay, thank you for sharing that with me, Vix, because I didn't know. The more popular witchy romance book is called X-Hex, and there's a sequel to that one called The Kiss Curse, and the sequel takes one of the friends, like one of the sidekicks in the first story, and it gives them kind of like their own story, not like at the same time, but like as a sequel after that on the timeline. And so does this sequel here. So I read those two together very recently, so I'm so stoked on this. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh, that's cool. Now show us your little friend. I forgot to get mine. I'll try and remember the last one. Let's see.
He's right here. He's so big and chunky. I love him.
That is so cute. Does it stand up too?
Yes, he like fully stands up. So I don't know what I'm going to do with him, but I have some other things that are very like Stay Puffy, but not necessarily like, more like I have like earrings and I have a shirt and some other like kind of small items. So I don't know where I'm going to put him, but he is so cute. I either have like a haunted mansion aesthetic where it's like a dark kind of gothic, haunted house vibe with like my decor items, or it's like really kitschy pop culture Halloween stuff. So I'm like kind of two things, but he brings me so much joy. And I saw him online before, like a few weeks ago. And yeah, I just stumbled upon him. So I'm very happy.
I love it when you fantasize about something and then you see it in real life and you're like, is this actually happening? Like that slow motion run across the store, like to get it. That's really cool.
It was so surreal. I love him.
Love it. I love the fact that he stands up too. I feel like he's a nice like piece that you can put somewhere.
Yes, yeah, he could be anywhere. So I'll put him right here.
Yeah, I feel like when you're filming videos now, you can put him in different, you know, like an elf on the shelf that people have at Christmas. You can like have a Stay Puft on there. I don't know what rhymes with Stay Puft, but
just hanging in the background.
Yeah, that's cool. I quite often have weird stuff in the background. Like at the minute, I have, and it's just because it's here, like a Toy Story alien. Like this is a 3-year-old.
They're some of my favorite too. I love them. They bring me joy. I like when I was 13 on my birthday, we went to Disneyland and I got this like bucket of aliens, and it's just little mini 100 little plastic aliens all in one bucket. I was 13, but I wanted them.
That sounds like something I'd still buy, to be fair. Like my little boy's just got into Stitch and there's so much good Stitch merch. And I'm like, actually, I'm just going to buy like Stitch dresses and bags and pretend it's for his benefit. But I just want them. And there's a thing like that of Stitches. There's like a set with about 20 Stitches, I think. And it's him in all different little outfits. And I was like, oh, I think, you know, my child needs it for his development. Not just I want to play with them.
Love it.
Paula has sad Disney news. It's true. One in London, one in Dublin. So we have one left in England. Oh, hi, Elena. Nice. I think you are. I think that even getting a child asleep in a 40-minute sprint is enough of an achievement. Like I've been there many times. I think, was it Mondays that Nathan didn't go to sleep and he just like missed the falling asleep part of the night, so he ended up staying up like during my sprints. Nice, LA. Oh, thank you for joining us. That sounds really fun. And happy birthday if it is your birthday today. Thank you for joining us. Lots of people saying hi to each other. Sorry, my comments are jumping all over the place. Well done, Sharon. Interesting. Let us know what you decide to read. I think that sounds like a nice way to celebrate. Yeah, I mean, I'll try and think of some, Sharon, that's like on the darker side that I think you would like. I don't know, like Daughter of Smoke and Bone is my favourite fantasy book. And it's funny, it's one of my favourite books and I'm not a big fantasy reader, but that, I just think that Laini Taylor's world building and like the twists and turns and the stuff she puts characters through, she's just amazing. So I always recommend her for like a non-fantasy reader. That sounds lovely. Yeah. I mean, I feel like we all do now. Like you've set us all up to spend our Halloween like trying to find our own.
So cute.
Hi, Amal. Yes, he has lots of fans. Yeah, I was going to ask that actually, Kay, what you're doing with the blanket, because I'd love to learn how to quilt. Like, you know, like the American patchwork quilt thing of like making a different patch in a different style.
No.
We went to like an old west town. Where did we go, Kev? And there was a quilting shop there, and I made the mistake of asking this little man who was obviously his whole life was quilting, and he told me all about it and loads of stuff with the history. And
In between LA and Vegas.
yeah, between LA and Vegas, like this little kind of dusty town that looked a bit like an old west kind of town. It was really cool. And yeah, I made a friend. I love that kind of place. Oh, Beautiful Disaster. Is that the new adult book that came out quite a while ago and has been made into, I think, an Amazon series or film? Nice. Oh, crocheting. Another thing I want to learn how to do. The Island House. I haven't heard of that. Either of you two? Sounds like it might be a thriller, but it also could be like a cute, nice thing. Or like people are getting murdered and they can't get off the island. Yeah, her writing is so beautiful. I think that's what gets me through, even though it's like pretty much high fantasy, I think, when they actually go into the fantasy world. Yeah, it's very good. Have either of you two read any Elaine Taylor?
No.
Never even heard of them.
Yeah, so she
Strange
wrote...
the Dreamer, isn't it? And
Yeah. So she wrote the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, and then the like Strange the Dreamer duology. And it's kind of a girl. It starts in the real world, but I think she can't remember much about her past or something like that. And she has been raised by this monster basically, and she like goes off and studies, and then she goes into this place, and he's great. The character Brimstone, he's this big creature, and he won't really tell her about his world, where he's from, and then she starts to unravel like that there's this whole other world that's sort of involved in this great epic battle. It's really cool. It's like grounded in the real world, but then has this whole other world too. Yeah, making cozy things is nice. Yeah, I really need to reread them. They're definitely some of my favorites. Oh, excellent. Right, let's see then. So making good time tonight. We should be finished around 10 with the next sprint. So I normally do half an hour for the last sprint just because I start to get a bit incoherent by this point of the evening. You two both look nice and fresh still. I suppose it's the middle of the day for you, Lauren, kind of still, but Vix, you know, we don't have that excuse and you still look awake. I'm starting to look a little bit more dead than I usually do. Like the dark eyes isn't just the shadows anymore, like this is me. So let's do 30 minutes and then we will come back at the end. So this is last sprint, everyone. We'll come back and see how everybody got on. Sharon, if you want any help deciding on your book, if you haven't already, pop it in the comments and we'll have a look. Everyone, we will see you in 30 minutes. And that's it, our last sprint of the evening. I did pretty well. I've still got a little bit to go with my editing, but I should hopefully get that done tomorrow night, so that's good. So thank you for keeping me on track, everybody. How did you get on, Lauren?
I did really well. I started some laundry and did finish like some other kind of tidying up things, and got to the 30% mark. So listened to 5% more in my book, and I'm loving it. So
Nice.
Good witchy vibes.
It sounds like a really good one for spooky season.
Yes. Loving it.
I feel like from this point, I'm just going to listen to spooky stuff and like read spooky stuff. I think I've given up on it not being Halloween at this point. It's like August is Halloween, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
I think as soon as the stuff comes into the shops, it's fair game. Like we can just read what we want. I suppose we can at any point, but excellent. That sounds like a good sprint. How about you, Vix? How was the new book?
30 pages left of The Castle of Otranto.
Nice. Are you enjoying it?
It's all right.
It needs to be a bit of the theme, isn't it?
Struggle, isn't it? Reading something from the 1700s.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I think some books, like say Dracula, there are bits where I'm like, oh, this is such a dated like view of women or of people from different groups. But overall, there's still enough that I can kind of read around it and know that it's from its time. But some stuff that's a classic is just really hard going.
Usually, you know, about 50 pages in, you get used to the way it's written and the language and stuff. But some are just like, wow, this is hard.
You make me want to read it though, like the fact that it's weird and a bit dense.
It is weird. It is weird. There's some weird topics that might have been okay back then, but are definitely not now. No way.
Interesting. I felt a bit like that about The Picture of Dorian Gray. Like some of the views of some of the main characters were just so toxic. I was like, oh, I actually can't push through. And my friend says she thinks I'll really like it and it's good.
It is a good story. It is.
I know how it ends. I think the problem is that I know what the reveal is, so I'm a bit like, am I just going to push through some of this writing to kind of...
That's another quick book as well, isn't it? It's only short. Dorian Gray.
Yeah, I might pick it up again at some point when I'm feeling a bit more favourable, but for now I was just like, I've had enough. Let's see how the people in the comments are doing, and then we can wrap this up for the evening and afternoon for you, Michelle. Nice. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I love a bit of witty banter in a book. Yeah, I can't remember what it was that you said that you were reading, Amal. Can either of you remember? I've totally lost track now.
The Island, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Nice. That sounds really productive for 30 minutes. Well done. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry if that ever revs up any cats, but yeah, I feel like the meow, sometimes I just like, it's annoying, but I also need it now. Yeah, I think that Kay is winning as far as 30 minute sprints go. That's impressive. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you have enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm generally better now if I keep my eyes on the clock, but it does get me... Island House, yeah, that's the one. It does get me sometimes. So I think that's it. We've got through the comments. We've had 3 productive sprints. Thank you two for coming on screen. As always, it's lovely to see you, Lauren. And Vix, how was your first sprint? Do you feel like it might be something you want to do again?
Yeah, definitely.
Yay. It's funny, I kind of forget that I'm live and people are watching. I just feel like I'm chatting to friends, and occasionally I think, oh gosh, I need to be careful what I say because like it's going on the internet. But yeah, thank you. I'm glad it was a nice first experience for you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. You're always welcome back, both of you. I'd love to see you back on again. Let's see the last few comments that popped up. That sounds good. Oh, thank you for coming on again, Amal. Yes. Night, everyone. So that seems like Sharon's comments a good place to end. I've totally lost track of what day it is. It's Thursday. I'm doing sprints on Monday and Thursday next week. I've got a few things going on Monday. Hopefully I won't be late. I should be able to start at 7:30. And I think for the next few weeks I should be doing a couple of sprints a week. So look out for those on my social media. Thank you everyone for watching, and hopefully we'll catch up with you on the sprints next week. Good night or good afternoon if you're in Laura's home. Bye.
Bye.